Part A. Directions. In Part A, you will hear short conversations between two people. After each conversation, you will hear a question about the conversation. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Number 1.
I used to bring my lunch to school when I was working in the chemistry department, but now that I'm a full-time student, I just eat at the snack bar.
Me too. It's too hard trying to get everyone ready in the morning at my house.
What are the man and woman talking about?
Number 2.
I was late for class because I couldn't find a parking space.
It's because of registration week. I drove around for almost half an hour before I found one this morning.
What are the two people talking about?
Number 3.
I lost my notebook. Could I borrow yours before the test?
I'm sorry, I'd like to help you, but I just can't. I have to take it with me to work so I can study on my breaks.
What does the woman want the man to do?
Number 4. Can we use our calculators on the test?
Yes, if you bring them to me at the beginning of the test, I'll check them out and return them right away so you can use them.
What does the man want to do?
Number 5. I want to apply for a student loan, please.
All right. Fill out these forms and bring in your income tax records from last year. Then I'll review your options with you.
How will the woman help the man?
Number 6.
You didn't get your grades because your name isn't on the roster. Did you attend the class and take the exams?
I certainly did, and I paid my fees too.
Why didn't the woman receive a grade for the course?
Number 7.
Will you be home late again tonight?
I'm afraid so, but I should be able to get away by 6, or let's say 7, just to be on the safe side.
When will the man be home?
Number 8.
If you invite Lucy, you'll have to ask Rick too.
Forget it.
How does the man feel about Rick?
Number 9.
That test was not what I studied for.
No joke. I hope I passed it.
How does the man feel about the test?
Number 10.
You are wrong about Terry.
If you say so.
What best describes the man's opinion of Terry?
Number 11.
There won't be any kids at the dinner. Maybe we should stay at home.
Why don't we get a babysitter? We could use an evening out.
What does the man suggest that they do?
Number 12. I don't like carrying a lot of cards in my wallet, but then I never have the one I need.
You could put them in a card case and leave them in your book bag.
What does the woman suggest that the man do?
Number 13.
My daughter's first birthday is Saturday. Why don't you come?
You don't mean it. She can't be a year old already.
What had the man assumed about the woman's daughter?
Number 14. Tuesdays you can rent 2 videos for the price of 1. Wednesdays you can rent any video you want for 99 cents. And every time you have rented a total of 10, you get 1 free. But you have to join the club, and that costs $5.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
What will the woman probably do?
Number 15.
It will be about a 20-minute wait if you want to sit indoors. We can seat you outdoors on the patio in 5 minutes.
Okay. I don't have 20 minutes to wait.
What will the man probably do?
Number 16.
Jane told me that she was going to quit her job. I'll certainly be sorry to see her go.
Oh, she always says that. I wouldn't buy her a going-away present if I were you.
What does the man think about Jane?
Number 17.
You should have your mail held at the post office until you get back.
Good idea. I remembered to get the newspaper stopped, but I'd forgotten about that.
What are these two people talking about?
Number 18.
Can I use my credit card to pay my fees, or do I have to give you a check?
Your card is fine as long as your credit approval goes through.
How does the woman want to pay?
Number 19.
No wonder Sharon won't see you. She probably thought that such an expensive gift was inappropriate on such short acquaintance.
It certainly is different here. In my country, men are supposed to show women that they care for them by giving them jewelry.
Why did Sharon stop seeing the man?
Number 20. So I asked Frank if we could live together next semester, and he said that he was going to room with Jeff.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, I know that Steve is looking for a roommate.
What does the woman suggest?
Number 21. Okay, what'll you have?
Give me the eggs and potatoes. Oh, wait a minute. How about the eggs and pancakes?
What does the woman want to eat?
Number 22.
How many boxes of Girl Scout cookies did you order?
4. No, 5.
How many boxes of cookies did the man order?
Number 23.
That was a great movie.
Sure, if you like fairy tales.
How did the man feel about the movie?
Number 24.
I'll leave the tip since you got dinner.
Okay, $5 is about 20%.
What does the man suggest that the woman do?
Number 25.
Oh no, we're locked out of the dorm. I didn't think it was that late.
Do you have a phone number for the security guard?
What does the man suggest the woman do?
Number 26.
All the bathrooms are locked.
That's odd. Why don't you go down to the main lobby? I think I saw a custodian there when we came in.
What does the woman suggest that the man do?
Number 27.
I just used the security deposit from my old apartment for a deposit on the new one.
So you did get your deposit back after all.
What had the man assumed?
Number 28.
Have you seen my chemistry book?
It was on the kitchen table yesterday. Did you have it with you when you went to the library last night? Maybe you left it there.
What will the woman probably do?
Number 29.
That book is on reserve, so you can't take it out of the library. You can use it here for 2 hours, though. Or you can wait until an hour before closing and check it out until the library opens at 8 in the morning.
Okay, I'll come back tonight.
What does the man imply?
Number 30.
Why do you have to take the TOEFL? I thought if you graduated from an American high school, you didn't have to take it.
I thought so, too. But the universities where I applied required a score even with an American diploma.
What do we know about the woman?
This is the end of Part A. Part B. Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear longer conversations. After each conversation, you will hear several questions. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Remember, you are not allowed to take notes or write on your test pages.
Consultation 1. Listen to part of a consultation in a professor's office.
You wanted to talk about the results of your laboratory experiment? Did you have any problems with it?
Yes, Professor Smith, we did.
And you two are lab partners?
Yes, we are.
Well then, can you go over the procedure for me?
Sure. First, we put 10 grams of crushed limestone in a bottle.
Anything special about the bottle?
It was a gas-collecting bottle with a 1-hole stopper and bent glass tubing.
Very good. So you put the limestone in a gas-collecting bottle. Then what?
Then we poured in 10 milligrams of hydrochloric acid, put on the stopper, and collected a bottle of carbon dioxide.
Right. What was the method of collection?
water displacement.
Good.
Then we lit a magnesium ribbon and put it in a bottle of carbon dioxide.
And carbon deposits began to form on the bottom of the bottle. You see, we didn't have any problem with procedure.
Well, we had a little problem getting the magnesium ribbon to stay lit until we could get it into the bottle.
Okay, but we did it. The big problem was that we really didn't understand what happened. Did the magnesium combine with the oxygen in the carbon dioxide?
You have just answered your own question, Bob. The burning magnesium broke the carbon-oxygen bonds in the carbon dioxide, and then the oxygen combined with the magnesium to produce magnesium oxide.
And the carbon was freed to deposit itself on the bottle.
Exactly.
Number 31.
What is the purpose of this consultation?
Number 32.
What was deposited on the bottom of the gas bottle?
Number 33.
What caused the deposits?
Number 34.
Where does this consultation take place?
Number 35.
What can we infer from this consultation? Consultation 2. Listen to part of a consultation with a professor.
Dr. Anderson, could you please clarify the requirements for this course? Some of us are a little bit confused about the final examination.
Oh? Well, you have two options in this course. You can either take a final examination, or you can write a research paper instead.
Excuse me, Dr. Anderson. That's the point I need you to clarify. What kind of research paper did you have in mind? An original study, a report, a book review, perhaps?
A report. A summary, really, based upon a reading list of current research in the field.
How long should the reports be?
Length is really not important. I should think that it would take at least 10 pages in order to develop the topic, however.
And should we check the topic with you before we begin writing?
You may if you wish, but the only requirement is that it relate to current trends in United States foreign policy. Are you considering writing a paper, Jane?
I'm not sure. I think that I'd like to know a little bit more about the examination.
All right. 100 multiple-choice questions covering both the lectures and the outside readings.
Didn't you say that you would give us 1 hour for the examination?
Yes, I did.
I'm going to do the paper then.
Me too.
Number 36.
What prompted the consultation?
Number 37.
What kind of research paper has Dr. Anderson assigned?
Number 38.
What kind of examination has Dr. Anderson prepared?
Number 39.
Which option do the students choose?
Number 40.
Based upon the consultation, which course does Dr. Anderson most probably teach?
This is the end of Part B. Part C. Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear several short talks. After each talk, you will hear some questions. The talks and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen.
Passage 2. Listen to part of a conversation between a student and a professor. Cheating.
Hello, Professor. You wanted to see me?
Yes, Wanda. Please come into my office.
Why did you want me to schedule an appointment with you? Do you think I am not doing well in class?
I wanted to see you because of your work on the last test. You know, on the first test, I felt you were struggling, and even on the second, I wasn't sure you were getting the points I was making in class.
Well, didn't you think I did very well on the last test? You know, I really think I got almost all of the answers right.
Yes, you did very well. Of course, I have not handed back the exams, so you don't know the score, but yes, you did very well. Did you study hard for the test, or is it just getting easier for you?
Oh, I studied for it.
Well, of course, you only attended 1 lecture between the last test and this one, but apparently you were able to get someone's notes to study. You know, it is fine to borrow notes when you need to.
Oh, sure. Oh, yes, I did borrow Robert's notes to review the material.
I see. Well, one of the reasons that I like to give exams that are completely essay is to see how much a student knows.
Actually, I think essay exams are harder than multiple choice and fill-in-the-blank or Scantron exams.
Not to change the subject, but do you like the way I let students choose their own seats in class?
Oh, yeah, I think it's great.
I noticed you came in just right before class on the day of the exam. Did you have any trouble finding a seat?
Oh, no, there was an empty seat next to Robert.
I see. Well, Wanda, I want to read you something from your exam. The early English colonists first settled Jamestown in 1619. Their leaders signed a compact.
Yeah, that's what I wrote.
Well, now, let me read something from another paper. The early English colonists first settled Jamestown in 1619. Their leaders signed a compact.
I don't understand.
Well, Wanda, this is one of several statements. In fact, some are whole paragraphs, where your writings, I should say your thoughts and statements, are exactly the same as another student's, word for word, sentence for sentence. And do you know that some of what you have written is not the correct answer? Do you want to explain?
Well, I guess my eyes did wander a little. You know, I am working so many hours, and I haven't had the chance to come to class, and I haven't been able to read the material, and I really didn't borrow Robert's notes. I just knew he was a good student. Oh, I know I shouldn't have done it. I am so sorry.
Well, Wanda, first, I want to thank you for being honest about what you did. Now, we do have a problem to solve. What should be done about the fact you cheated? What should be done about the test score? And what should be done about your total class grade? You know, the university permits me to fail you. I can also make you retake the class, and I can ask that you be suspended from school for cheating. I want you to go home and think about the problem and what you would do if you were in my shoes. And I want to meet with you next week at this time and have you tell me what kind of a decision I should make. And then we will talk about the decision I am going to make. You may go now, and I will see you a week from today at the same time here in my office.
Okay.
Now get ready to answer the questions. You may use your notes to help you answer.
Number 41.
Why does the student go to see the professor?
Number 42.
Why does the professor ask how the student liked the seating arrangement in class?
Number 43.
Why did the professor read the student part of her essay exam?
Listen again to part of the conversation, then answer the question.
I want you to go home and think about the problem and what you would do if you were in my shoes. And I want to meet with you next week at this time and have you tell me what kind of a decision I should make.
Number 44.
Why does the professor say this?
I want you to go home and think about the problem.
Listen again to part of the conversation, then answer the question.
You know, the university permits me to fail you. I can also make you retake the class, and I can ask that you be suspended from school for cheating.
Number 45.
What can be inferred about the professor's remarks?
Listen to part of a talk in a history class. The gold mining towns and the characters.
Does anyone know what happened in 1848 that caused the West to become populated very quickly? No? Oh, there are lots of interesting stories that are told about the gold mining towns and the characters who lived in them. Have any of you heard of James Marshall? Not the Supreme Court Justice John Marshall. This is James Marshall. Still no ideas? Okay, let me tell you about James Marshall's discovery. James Marshall was a worker living in the California area. He was there to build a water-powered sawmill on property owned by John Sutter. Okay, now I see some of you who think you might know. Well, Marshall found some bits of gold in a mill race on Sutter's property. Those little flakes of gold that he found in Sutter's stream near Sacramento caused an uproar all over the country, and even as far as Europe. He discovered the gold in 1848, and the two men, Marshall and Sutter, tried to keep the discovery a secret. But you know how secrets are hard to keep. Well, so as soon as the news of gold being found at Sutter's Creek got out, people began pouring into California in droves. And the gold rush had begun. People living in California rushed to Sutter's mill, and by 1849, people from all over the country began heading for California.
Did they all go by wagon train, like a lot of the other settlers?
Yes, that was one of the ways. But they also went by ship, and that took a long time too.
I think I remember reading that ships had to go around the tip of South America to reach California. Of course, that was before the Panama Canal was built.
You're right, but they also traveled to Veracruz, which was a busy port in Mexico. And then they got off the ship, traveled overland, and headed northwest up to California. And some really brave souls sailed to the Isthmus of Panama, left the ship and headed to California from there.
Well, once all these gold seekers got to California, what was it like?
These gold seekers were called prospectors and 49ers, because news had not gotten back east until 1849, and most people began their trip west in 1849 as well. These 49ers descended upon California by the tens of thousands. Nothing like this had ever happened before in our history. Towns sprang up everywhere overnight. Tents, saloons, wagons, dirt streets, gunfights and street fighting. Tall tales of gold in the hills, all part of the gold rush towns.
Did a lot of people become really wealthy?
Some did, of course, but most did not. And within about 5 years, most of the gold was gone. Oh, there are lots of interesting stories that are told about the gold mining towns and the characters who lived in them. One fellow, who didn't get rich by finding gold, made lots of money fixing wagons. I'm sure you have all heard about Studebaker automobiles. Well, a young man named John Studebaker had gone west to seek his fortune. But when he got there, he saw all the wagons that were broken down and needing repair. The wagons were those which people had come west in, and the wagons and wheelbarrows that the 49ers were using to mine gold. Well, Johnny Studebaker had come back from east, and his family had been in the wagon business. They had made some of the Conestoga wagons people used coming west, and he knew all about how they were made. He also knew how to fix them. He started fixing wagons and became known as Wheelbarrow Johnny. And he earned a lot of money because he had a skill that others didn't. And with all of his earnings, he moved back to where his family was starting a new wagon factory in South Bend, Indiana, and he invested his much-needed money into the new company, which later developed into the famous Studebaker Automobile Company. So, when you ask if people got rich, the answer is yes, they did, but not all of them got rich mining for gold.
Now get ready to answer the questions. You may use your notes to help you answer.
Number 46.
What is the talk mainly about?
Number 47.
Why does the professor mention James Marshall?
Number 48.
What does the professor say about the people who went to California?
Number 49.
According to the professor, of what significance was John Studebaker?
Number 50.
What does the professor say about the people who traveled to California by ship?